Hi everyone, I'm Gary Fisk, Professor of Psychology at Georgia Southwestern State University. In the previous video, we looked at ways to manually enter data into PSPP. Well, this is tedious and it's not something people typically do. We often collect all of our data right on the PC, like in a survey or an experiment on a computer. So what we're going to do in this video is look at ways to open existing data files. We'll look at some that are native in PSPP, ready to go. We'll also look at importing files that are done in comma-separated value format. Okay, all right, so let's begin with the easy one. Let's say we already have a data file. All we need to do is load it. I've got two examples here. One is from a textbook that I'm using. I'll give a quick shout out. This is Psychological Statistics for Everyone by Jessica Hartnett. They have this nice example of research being done on puppies for a one-sample t-test here. The researcher, Emily Bray, and her colleagues are pointing at a place where the puppies should go, and they're seeing if the puppies will catch on to those nonverbal cues. All right, so I've got a data file that's already to go from that. This is from the textbook publisher. I could just double click on this file here and open it if the file associations are right. Another way to open it would be to just go to the file menu, open the files on my desktop here. You can see it's chapter 7 puppies.sav. The .sav extension is the standard data file for PSPP and SPSS. PSPP should be able to open any one of those. So I'm going to, here we go here. I'm going to just select open on this. It's in the lower right corner here. And boom, it just opens up in PSPP. I'll be ready to go with my data analysis for that. So that's pretty easy. If a file's ready for SPSS, it will have the .sav extension on the right side. It will just be open in PSPP by double-clicking on it if you have your file associations on the computer. Or you can use this file open method to find it on your computer and then open it up. Okay. All right, so that's this one. I'll also notice that it made an entry over here in my output, all right, get. This is a little command saying that it opened a data file. All right, let's get that out of there for the moment. Okay. All right, so that's one way to do things. Let's try something else now. Let's try importing data. Sometimes when we have data, it's going to come in a file called a comma-separated value format. Now, let me show you what that looks like. Here's some data from my own research here. Just a very simple kind of correlation from some people. If you open up this data file, I've saved it as a comma-separated value file. What this does is it's human readable. We can open it in any text editor and look at it. It doesn't have special coding like spreadsheet files might have. You can see the first row of in this data file are the variable names. These are going to be our column headers. And then starting at the second row, we've got the subjects. Each subject has an identification number. Then it's got data. There are commas that separate each data value. Okay, so this is the data we're going to import here. All right, let me just move that aside. Okay, so here's how we can bring this data into PSPP if we want to analyze it here. We can go to the File menu, Import Data. All right, let me minimize this so you can see it better here. Okay, what this is doing is it's what's called a wizard. It's going to step you through several steps that you need to do to get your data into the computer. All right, so the first step here is we have to find the file, and we're going to select it here, right? Select file to import is what it says in the upper left here. So we're going to select the file. Okay, so then we can click the next button here. So it'll take us to the next step. It's going to ask us how many lines do we want to import. Most of the time we'll probably want to use all of them. But this could be useful if you just want to take a certain number of cases. You know, you want to do participants 1 through 50 or something like that. you can specify that here. We're going to use all the data, so we'll just go on to the next one here, right? Click the next button. All right, now here's the next critical step to do. We have to find the first line. Now, my first line has variable names in it, so my first line is not really data. It's just the variable names. So the useful thing in these situations is there's this little checkbox here. Line above selected line contains variable names. I'm going to check that because I do have variable names. And then I'm going to select the second line. The second line is where my data actually begin. That first line is just the names for the columns or the variables. So if you set it up like this, it'll go pretty smoothly. We're just telling the software where to look for finding that first row of data. All right, so I'm going to click Next again. Here's a field where it gives you a little preview of what the data file might look like. You notice it's got lines, it's got names of the variables. Looks like everything's looking pretty good there. Now, if you have other kinds of separators other than commas, you can select those here. They could be things like spaces, tabs, and other kinds of symbols. We're good to go because commas are the default, but this is something where you can customize it if you have some other kind of separator. So I'm going to click the Next button here. And now we have a preview of what it's looking like. Okay, and I'm going to click Apply here. And there's our data, right? It opens it up in the variable view. Maybe I'll want to edit the variables a little bit, fine-tune it just a little bit and such. But if we switch over to our data view here, we can see that we've got all the data going on here like that. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It's pretty simple. At this point, it'd be a good idea to save our data. You know, we want to save it before we start doing any analyses on it. Okay. All right. So those are two methods for opening existing files in PSPP. The next video is going to be about how to do some basic analysis steps. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.